pleased to introduce now Attorney Davis Younts. He is an experienced military law attorney with over 19 years experience. He is a former active duty JAG officer. And for those of you that may not know the acronym, that is Judge Advocate General, which is the military legal system. He has served as the chief of the Military Justice Division for the U.S. Air Force JAG School and as the senior military attorney at multiple Air Force bases. He continues to serve the U.S. military and all of us in America as the lieutenant colonel in the Air Force Reserve. He appears today on our press conference in his private capacity as a civilian attorney representing more than 50 military clients whose core human and civil rights have been abused and trampled upon. Attorney Younts will be discussing the situation in the broader picture for his client, Commander Robert Green, Jr., who is a Navy commander. He has had an exemplary career in the Navy with multiple deployments, unit citations, and awards. He has been a weapons tester for the Navy, as well as a data analytics expert for multiple major commands. His most recent position was as the executive officer of the Maritime Expeditionary Security Squadron 8, a unit of about 650 soldiers. Just before the press conference aired, he informed me that he has been fired from that position, and he will address this in the press conference today. Attorney Younts and Commander Green, thank you both for being here and speaking out. This is a very alarming situation for the public to understand the enormity of the impact for the public when our military core rights are being so egregiously abused. Attorney Younts, we'll start with you with the introduction.
Thank you, Dr. Velik. I really appreciate this opportunity on behalf of Commander Green and 50 other clients that I currently represent. We're in a fight. We're in a legal battle within the military system and outside the military system in federal courts for the core constitutional rights of our military members. And I can tell you, I got involved in this fight, and my clients like Commander Green have gotten involved in this fight because they believe our constitutional rights are at stake for all Americans. The reality is you don't give up your constitutional rights simply because you join the military. In fact, military members, military officers swear an oath to support and defend the Constitution. So many thousands of military members, still over 40,000, maybe as many as 50,000 military members are taking a stand based on what they see as unlawful and unconstitutional mandates. So it is my pleasure to introduce one of those brave Americans. Rob Green is a man who has served his country selflessly. He has an impeccable military record. And this is really the first time he's had to choose between his faith and the basic constitutional rights he loves and his military service. He is a whistleblower. He's reported his situation, the discrimination he's faced to federal courts as well as to the United States Congress. And so with that, I'd like to let Rob share some of his story with you today.
Thank you very much, Davis. And thank you, Dr. Velik, for speaking to both of us. First of all, let me say that I'm here in my private capacity, and as such, I do not speak for the Navy. But why I'm here is it's relatively simple. I'm a man of faith, Catholic, father of soon-to-be 7, and my beliefs preclude me from receiving a COVID-19 vaccination. My beliefs also preclude me from the Navy's current testing program. The Navy is attempting to force continual asymptomatic testing on only the unvaccinated. And for me, I find that to be discriminatory. It defies logic, and it also violates my conscience. So as in the course of my communicating with other sailors in similar situations, I was provided a standard operating procedure that details the Navy's process for adjudicating religious accommodations. This standard operating procedure was already made public by a different whistleblower. But when I read that document, I was pretty shocked to see how it violated law, it violated regulation, and it violated constitutional rights of sailors who had sincerely held religious beliefs. It also jumped out to me that they were willing to violate their own oaths to the Constitution in documenting this standard operating procedure, violations of law and regulation notwithstanding. So I filed a complaint against Vice Admiral John Knoll, who leads the manpower and personnel office that is responsible for this SOP. And that complaint I signed on the 23rd of December. It was filed in federal court that very afternoon in support of the Navy SEALs v. Biden case in Northern District of Texas. Only a few days later, Judge O'Connor made a ruling giving a preliminary injunction to those to the Navy SEALs and the special operators in that group of plaintiffs. Earlier this past week, I was told, I was called by my chain of command into a discussion and was told that I was being fired as the executive officer of Maritime Expeditionary Security Squadron 8. Their reasoning for that was due to my not testing and they were very clear with me that it was not due to my vaccination status. I struggle to see it that way. Had I gone along with everything going on with the Navy, with their testing program that I feel is discriminatory, with the vaccination that violates my conscience, then I would be violating my religious beliefs. I'd be violating my conscience. It's something that I can't go along with. So it is about vaccination status to me. It's about ensuring 100% compliance, regardless of beliefs held by service members. And it's something I frankly can't go along with. The timing of it as well is suspicious to me. And I struggle to see how the timing of my firing has nothing to do with my filing of the various complaints that I have made, as well as my filing to the House and the Senate Armed Services Committee that was just done this past week. So thank you very much for having me. I'm honored to speak. My wife and I discerned about coming forward. We feel that we can no longer stand by and let these things happen. We need to get out there and discuss this and make sure that the American people can join in the fight.
Thank you for your courage in speaking out, and thank you for your service to our country, Commander Green. We are honored to have you as one of our legal defense grant recipients because of your courage and because of the egregiousness of the actions against you. We will be standing with you to defend you in whatever way we are able to do. Attorney Younts, if you would like to add more to what Commander Green has said, I think that might be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I will share with you and what I think everyone needs to understand is Commander Green is only one of thousands of military members that is facing the same thing. What's happening, what's clear, what our fear has been is that the religious freedom of military members would be completely ignored, that a process that has been in place for years, that has worked well for religious accommodations, would be ignored because of the political nature of this vaccine mandate. It is truly unprecedented. The military has been told, we know for a fact, they've been told by their attorneys, by JAGs that are on active duty working for the military, what you're doing is illegal. They have said in legal memorandums that have gone up, you should be approving these. These are sincerely held religious beliefs. There is alternatives to this. They have even said you're creating for yourself significant litigation risk with this course of action. And because of political pressure and because of military leaders that are not willing to take a stand for truth and for the Constitution, we are facing this tremendous discrimination. And my clients, I mean, it cannot be missed. They see this as an extension of their oath to support and defend the Constitution. And they believe if they're not willing to take a stand, then all Americans are going to face the potential of unlawful mandates and illegal actions. Simply saying they can't do that, it's illegal, isn't enough anymore. We are having to fight this at every turn in the court system and within the military process because the law is being ignored in this case. And we could come up with a lot of reasons why, Dr. Velik, but it feels very, very political. And it's unfortunate that any military leader is willing to compromise their integrity for political reasons or to save their own career.
I find it absolutely shocking that what I have always thought, that our military had some of the highest standards in the world for rules of engagement, code of conduct, rule of law, military regulations that protected the constitutional rights of the service members, to see that being so abused across the board on all service branches, not only in patients I've evaluated who are in the military, but now in working with the teams of people that we are involved with for the foundation and seeing the enormity of what's happening. It is very chilling, and it's something the public really needs to understand. This isn't just affecting the military, it's affecting all of us.
That's absolutely right. I've served for 19 years myself. I'm still a lieutenant colonel in the reserves, and I joined after 9/11. I was in law school in 9/11. That's why I joined the military, to serve and protect the American people. I believe this is an extension of that. Commander Green, my Navy SEAL clients, my fighter pilot clients, they believe the same thing. They see this as an extension of their obligation to fight for the freedom and to protect the American people.
And to just come back to a point that the international attorney Todd Callender made in the press conference as well, that this is an orchestrated global plan to use a pandemic as justification for essentially public health controlled martial law globally, implemented through the World Health Organization. And he can point to the statutes that were signed more than a decade ago that are signed onto by countries around the world, which is leading to this medical tyranny, enforcing these vaccine mandates, and in other countries beginning to be enforced by law enforcement and the military. So it raises the question of what could happen to American citizens if military command is not following their own regulations now. For the military members, are we next?
Well, I absolutely fear that. I fear that that's a lot of what's going on. You know, crisis is what puts our Constitution to the test. Our Constitution doesn't stop because there's a crisis. In fact, sometimes when there's a crisis, perceived, created, or otherwise, that's when we need the Constitution the most. But make no mistake, military members have rights. They have processes for doing this, those rights, and that process is being ignored. And I absolutely fear that, you know, parental rights, parents being involved in decisions, healthcare decisions for their children, all of those things are on the table. If we don't take a stand against this, we need to push back.
Thank you. And we are here to help you do that. Commander Green, you are one of our legal defense grant recipients, and we stand with as many as we're able to help. And those of you listening, donate to support our Medical Freedom Fund so that we can be able to support our military members who need legal assistance to preserve their rights. Thank you both for being here today. And I'm very grateful for your faith, for your service to our country, and for your courage right now. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.